Hi, and welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is BryanCPSteele, and I will be your nerd today and every other day that we watch one of these little shows. Alright, everybody, it's going to be a quick one today. I'm swamped, and the topic tells a lot of why I'm swamped. First things first, personal. So I'm getting better and better with the CPAP machine every night. I am still getting that kind of bridge of the nose soreness. Apparently there's things I can do to help that. We'll see. The last thing I want to do is look like I have been in Fight Club forever. The weight loss has officially began. It's not much, but I did notice a little bit of a difference on when I was getting ready this morning. That being said, there is a slight complication. My left sciatic, the nerve running through my hip, has been fired up lately. I do not know why. I don't know what I did. I don't know if it's just now that I'm sleeping better all night long, I'm staying stationary too long. I have no idea. What I do know is that waking up and getting out of bed is a trial, and it sucks. So I've got exercises from the last time that my sciatic flared up, and I've got the percussion gun, and I've got things that hopefully help. If I get back from Origins and it is not any better, I'm probably going to go see the doc, see if there's something, muscle relaxer or something that I can do to help out. Because, yuck, it is no good. If you're an old-time fan of the channel, you know probably about 2 years ago, maybe even longer at this point, I had run into some sciatic situations on the other side. So we'll see. It is zero fun. So if during the course of this video, if I move or twist or do something silly and you see me go, it is not me being dramatic. I'm probably in pain. Gaming wise, let's see. It's a lot of gaming. The last couple days since the last time we spoke. This weekend we had my buddy's birthday party game day where we played the Twilight Imperium, one of our favorite long-term games. We almost made it to the end before people had to leave and whatnot, but the writing was pretty much on the wall. A lot of us were middle of the pack. There were 6 of us playing. There were a lot of us middle of the road, right sitting there. So if you haven't played Twilight Imperium, it is a race to 10 victory points. It is a long game, but I think most of us were like in the 5 to 6 victory point range. I was about ready to get another one, and then the birthday boy himself got like 3 in one turn and put him at like, I want to say we ended the game at like 8. And if it would have gone one more turn, he would have been able to bop to 10. So it was kind of a foregone conclusion. Unless wacky stuff happened, we would have known that we would have been able to finish the game, and Nick would have probably won anyway. So, yay for the birthday boy. Let's see what else I did. I ran my Transformers game on this weekend. So what my players don't know, is that they have officially started on the Time Is Now adventure series that I did with Renegade. I ran like kind of a preliminary sort of, let's get them used to the system, let's get them used to their bots and stuff, and then put them into the events of the Time Is Now. And so now we are moving forward on getting people, on getting the team into those events. It was a short-ish session, but it was very good. We had a good time. They are starting to understand the system enough that a lot of times, instead of them asking questions and me going, okay, this is how this works, it's more along the lines of them asking, hey, it's like this, right? And a lot of times I'm like, yeah, you got it. So that's a good sign. And then last night we actually played the Waking. I got to play the Waking Realms D&D game, where I am a capoeira cat monk, and we're higher level now. We're like 13th level. So we're really kind of settling into that whole save the world aspect of things. And we went in the session last night. We went to go talk to a member of like the local mage council. They run the city, sort of thing. And she turned out to be a chronomancer, so she was a time mage, and very aloof, very, oh really, I don't care about anything that's going on, blah blah blah. The world will end and it will be fine because I was going to teleport my city away. Like kind of a jerk, but she had the MacGuffin and we needed to get the MacGuffin, so we talked her into understanding the situation, and halfway through that conversation, she basically said, "Well, I don't know whether or not you are you're gonna actually giving you the MacGuffin is going to be a waste of the MacGuffin." So I'm going to put you to the test. And so she summoned up a bunch of alternate versions of herself from her timelines, and then we battled. It was rough. I mean, it was a rough fight, but we took care of 2 out of the 4 copies of her or whatever, and then that was basically when she goes, okay, you guys are heroes. You guys are powerful and epic enough that I trust you with this MacGuffin. And so that's where we ended last night, is obtaining the MacGuffin and seeing, kind of planning what we were going to do with it or where we're going to next. Yeah, like I said, that particular game, I think, is the reason why Micah is ramping us up to. That's the name of the GM, by the way. I think the reason why Micah is ramping us up to this kind of apocalyptic moment is that I think that's gonna be like the big end thing of his game, is us thwarting an apocalypse. Professionally, I've been busy. Got some stuff sent over for Warzone that was important for Alex and for us as we move forward into the next step of awesomeness. Let's see what else. I didn't get any words down on the Shadowrun novel this week. I've been too busy with other things. But I think that I'll probably get a chance next month to really buckle down on a few things for maybe a weekend or two and really smash out some words on that. That'll be fun. Speaking of Warzone, I actually finally finished my Capital starter, so I will have a whole new demo team to play with at Origins next week. So that'll be cool. And then my primary day-to-day over at the Evil Genius Gaming. It's busy over there. We've got a lot of things moving, a lot of moving parts. The Pacific Rim role-playing game Kickstarter ended, and we got a few decent unlocks, but now the hard part now is getting everything put together and the process to begin. There are also a couple of other Evil Genius projects that we are having, that we're just kind of starting up, but a lot of that stuff is hidden behind the curtain of non-disclosure agreement. But yeah, no. So speaking of the Pacific Rim game, so it's a neat system. One of these days, I'm hoping. I know at GameholeCon I'm going to run a couple of adventures. So if you're going to Gamehole, you should totally try and look that up. But one of the other things that now that my new position as executive producer of Sci-Fi Lines over at Evil Genius, one of the things that I get to do is orchestrate new writers, orchestrate projects, or write up the art orders and things. So since I finalized all 20 some odd kaiju, man, I'm having a hard time talking today. Let me take a sip of my go juice. After making like 20 some odd kaiju, and I want to say a total of like 10, well, it's like 7 new kind of Jaegers that will be part of the adventure series, or the adventure path. I got to write up the art orders for them yesterday. So that's going to be, one of the things that I have always loved, anytime I've been able to be a part of it, whether it's because I'm in management or whether it's because I, was handed the reins or whatever, I've always loved being able to work with an artist to come up with an idea, or at least seed them with the idea and then have them, show me what's awesome. So I'm really, really excited to work with the kaiju artist to fit our stats and body weirdnesses and stuff to some new art. So that was cool. I put those orders in yesterday. Today I got to put a couple in for the Jaegers. It's good, and that project is going to be awesome. Working with Joe and Monica and Chris is going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know that I'm not doing as much writing as I normally do for these projects because I'm now like producing management stuff. So I'm helping, orchestrate those things. But it is really cool to see this project, kind of come together and become the thing that it's going to be. And then, down the road, I hope to be able to actually run it for some of my locals. That would be, I think that would be a ton of fun. So that's pretty much it for the week in Bryan. Aside from if you see me, if for some reason I have to shut down this recording, is because I've got a kind of a gnarly leak upstairs in my in one of the upstairs restroom. So I've got a plumber coming out today, and the window that they gave me is pretty large. So if for some reason I get a message, that's why I keep looking down at my phone. If for some reason I get a message that, hey, I'm here, I need to go handle that. Or if in the background of this video you hear my dogs explode, it means that the dude's here and knocking on the door. Either way, I'm going to try and get through this video, and hopefully that will be the thing. Let's talk Origins. Origins Game Fair, Columbus, Ohio. I like the show a great deal. I know that it's always been kind of seen as Gen Con light. For people in the industry, it does not offer the same, massive sales potential as like Gen Con or like PAX Unplugged. But it's a fun show. It is also, it holds a particular place in my heart, because for a long time it was the show that like me and a lot of my friends would travel to. I left a lot of heart in that city over the years, over the decades at this point. But it is also one of the first places that I got to work with Privateer Press almost 20 years ago, where I met some of my closest industry friends now. It was at Origins that I first had drinks with Peter Atkinson, not realizing that he was who he was, and now we're good friends. it was at Origins that I first found Mongoose Publishing was doing a Babylon 5 role playing game, and where I met with Alexander Fennell. God, I miss Alex. Not he's not dead or anything. I just haven't talked to him. But it was where I met with Alex and said, I want to be part of this. And that shaped like the next 5 or 6 years of my life. It was, honestly, it was at Origins where I first talked to anyone at Cool Mini or Not to possibly get a gig about miniature gaming, about getting into Dark Age and Wrath of Kings, which has led me through lots of stuff, and then now has got me all the way up into redesigning Warzone. So Origins, like I said, always has held a very special place in my heart, and combine that with the fact that it is the Columbus Convention Center is nestled in an amazing little part of town, all kinds of great restaurants, all kinds of great shops. They almost always do a good job of scheduling the convention around like parade season. So there's always parades that come through on High Street. It's just a really good show. I know it gets a lot of grief because it's so close to Gen Con. Gamma as an organization, the organization that runs it, has had its ups and downs. And a lot of industry people are not massive fans of the show for the sheer fact that, it has that the management of Origins has definitely seen peaks and valleys. Where I remember going to an Origins when I was actually worried that the show was going to die. I went, and the booth I was working at was at a corner, and where I was at, I could see. It was like on a Friday afternoon when normally that place should be packed. I could see all the way down this aisle and all the way down the aisle. Like I had an unobstructed line of view at eye level all the way both ways. There were people there, but it was so thin and so spread out that I was like, this might very well be the last Origins. And then they ended up doing some changes to the structure. The next couple years, they did like $5 wristbands to just get people into shop. It was cool, and it revitalized it. It brought it back. It's always been a big show for Catalyst Game Labs. Although I do think that this year they have a smaller presence because they're currently trying to fulfill their BattleTech stuff. Either way, like I said, it's just always been a very special show to me, and this year is no exception. This year, as I get ready to head out next week for said show, so Alex and I, Alex over at Resnova, with the Warzone Eternal project, we had said that we were doing a Adepticon, and then if we could, we would bring the demo table, we would set up a booth, we would do demos and games and have a good time with Warzone at this show if it was possible. We ended up making it possible, so Alex and I are going to be there, having a grand old time, doing demos over the course of the next 4 days. Well, not the next 4 days, the 4 days after we get there. And while I don't know if we're going to have anything that we can actually sell, like anything at all, I know we don't have any actual like game merch, but we might have some stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I know that primarily, kind of like what we did at Adepticon, this booth is for demoing, for showing people the game, for updating everyone kind of on how things are going now that the Kickstarter is done, and more importantly for all of us is we're going to be able to hopefully start accepting late backers soon. So getting some of those people ready to jump into the backer kit and stuff is ideal. If all goes well, I would love to have like a QR code at the booth for people who want to late back. They can boop, 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 and just get in. But I don't know how far along that is. I know that the backer kit process is work intensive, and Alex is taking care of that right now. Yeah, so basically, I'm going to this show, and Alex and I decided we were going to go. We got our hotel stuff taken care of. We got our booth taken care of. We got everything taken care of, and then I landed the Evil Genius gig. So Evil Genius is also going to be at Origins. They're going to have a booth there. They're running events there. It is actually going to be the first time that I'm going to see several people that I work with every day. I'm going to get to see them in person for the first time, instead of just through cameras and the like. Including my boss, including Dave, my boss over there. What's funny is, so this is the first show that we're going to be together, but I'm not actually working for them there because I've got the previous arrangements with Warzone. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. And it's gonna be fun. But I do have a bunch of stuff planned with my Evil Genius people, business wise or other, or personal. So it's going to be a crazy show. It's going to be a good show. And I wanted to take today to not only express how much I enjoy that show, and that if you are in the Columbus, Ohio area, or if you can get to the Columbus, Ohio area between the 21st and the 25th, which is next week, you should totally stop by. And if you're already going to Origins, you should stop by the Warzone Eternal booth and see me and say hi. And maybe do some selfies or whatever. Either way, it's gonna be a lot of fun. But I wanted to talk about what I have to do to prep for a convention, for specifically a show like this, where I know I'm going to be on my feet for long hours during the day, doing demos, having a good time, and then normally at night, especially at Origins. There is a lot of socializing. There's a lot of business meetings. There's a lot of stuff that happens after hours. So what I am. Oh, all right. Please hold. I'll be with you in a moment. I gotta go let the plumber in. Okay, so I got the plumber all squared away. Thank you for bearing with me. Probably was only a couple of seconds for you. For me, it was a long time. If you hear any banging or anything, or if I have to run away again in the next couple minutes, I apologize. But good news, they're going to fix the leak. I will have to not be paying for a ton of water that is just going down the drain. Where was I at? Oh, so getting ready for a show like this. I always start uploading on or like kind of like vitamin loading. I take a lot of like vitamin C. Almost always bring with me a bunch of the like emergency like dissolvable tablets and things to keep in the hotel rooms to start my day. I always bring like a package or two of like protein bars, things. Convention food is always expensive. Now, that being said, I am well aware that my diet is probably going to go right out the window for 5 days. And the reason for that is because there are so many awesome restaurants and places to eat around Columbus, specifically right around the convention center. If I were to try and stay dirty keto the whole time, I would probably miss out on some business dinners. I would probably make people feel awkward, when they invite me to go, hey, let's talk about this, this game product or whatever. Let's go to this place I'm buying, and then I go, oh, hey, but I can't go there. I don't have enough. There's not enough food options for me or anything like that. I'm not going to be that guy. I understand there are people out there that are like, but I'm a vegetarian, or I'm vegan, or I'm this, or I can't have this, or I can't, I don't eat at that place. Being a part of the industry and trying to be successful, sometimes you have to not, you have to realize that, if you're trying to wine and dine somebody, if you're trying to discuss potential license legality, or honestly, if you're just out there trying to network and connect, sometimes fighting those fights, it is easier to say, no, let's not meet for dinner, let's meet for drinks afterwards. Or, there's this great place that, there's this great ice cream shop. Why don't we go, and talk about this over a nice couple of Sundays. There's ways to do it without basically going, oh, we want to go to dinner. Well, I can't go here. I can't go here. I can't go here. I won't go here, and I won't eat this. Obviously, barring actual allergies and stuff. I know that sounds like, being fake or false. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, don't be a vegetarian. At least not for that reason. I'm not saying don't be a vegetarian. I'm not saying don't, tell people about how, veganing has done great wonders for you. What I'm saying is, if someone offers to buy you dinner and you accept, don't bring 1,000 stipulations. Don't be like, oh, really? That's awesome. Thank you. But we can't go to any place that serves white meat or whatever. It is part of getting part of making relationships and getting places in the industry is making those relationships and making good first impressions and being present in the moment and reading the room. I could do an entire episode on freelancer no-nos, or networking no-nos. I could do that. I'm not going to, because I also don't want to sound like a know-it-all or a catty bitch. But basically, I know that I'm going to be probably eating not so great. Well, eating well, but not well as far as the diet is concerned. That being said, it is you don't snack. At least I don't. I don't snack when I'm at a convention. So, it ends up being a lot of walking, a lot of exercise. On teardown, on setup and teardown, you end up spending a lot of calories doing stuff. But the big thing is honestly just portion control. If I go to Buca de Bepa's, which is family style, slop it onto your plate awesomeness, keep in mind what I'm doing. Don't be like, oh, really? There's eight meatballs left and nobody wants any? I'll take all 8. No, you do your part. You do, so that's going to be a lot of what, my personal prep is basically getting me ready mentally to eat really well for 5 days and then come back on Monday, and basically go back to meat and cheese and eggs and things. Normally, before I do a show where I'm going to be on my feet a lot, like Origins, or Adepticon or something along those lines. Not so much for role-playing shows. For the role-playing shows, generally, I don't worry about it as much because I'm going to be seated a lot. But for the walking, talking, mini, demoing shows, I almost always like to go out and buy a new pair of shoes. Not new as in I would be buying them now and then wearing them for the next couple of days to kind of break them in a little bit. That helps. That always helps me a great deal. But I didn't have to this time because my mom randomly bought me a new pair of shoes last month, and I barely have used them. I've broken them in. I know that they're going to be good to wear, so I'm going to bring those. Just randomly, she called me up and she's like, "What size shoe are you?" So that was nice. So there's that. I will probably sometime this weekend, I will go to a couple of different clothing stores, probably buy some new shorts. I wear a lot of shorts. I don't wear pants very often. And that's a general rule. That's not even a convention rule. I'm almost always in, some kind of gym shorts or jean shorts, or I know they're not socially as they the cargo shorts. I don't wear long pants very often. I will bring a pair with me because if I get invited to something fancy or fancier, if I get invited to a nice dinner or something, I will probably bring those, or I'll bring those, wear those. Yeah, just show up and be like, hey, I brought these pants. But I almost always wear shorts, like constantly, and that's even in Midwest winters. I'm wearing shorts. My general rule is if snow has not actually gotten into my shoes, like the snow is not high enough to get into my shoes and socks, I don't need to wear pants. I don't know what it is. I've always been this way. It just is what it is. So I'll probably sometime this weekend I'll probably go buy a couple new pairs of shorts. Make sure that I've got one package of brand new fancy socks, for cushion and support while I am on my feet all day. Basically, this is the prep. This is me getting ready. I'll make my checklist of all the stuff that I need to bring, all the stuff I need to pack. Which now I have to add my CPAP machine to that. And then figure out, get kind of, if it's something that I'm not going to use for the first couple days of next week, I will go ahead and pack it up. Like sometime this weekend I'll probably pack up all my Warzone demo stuff and get that ready to go to head off. And then the whole idea of pre-prep is basically making so Wednesday morning I can get up, I can make breakfast with my kid, and take him home, to his take him to his mom's house, and then come back, grab all my stuff, pack all my things, not pack, but grab all my things, pack the last essentials into the box, zip everything up, throw it in the back of the car, kiss my pets, kiss my wife, and then be on my way. Because it is a 4-hour drive to Origins, 3-ish. And I know that I can't check in necessarily until like 3 o'clock, but I can at least get there, find a good parking spot, check in, but maybe not get my room. I honestly don't know. I know check-in's supposed to be at 3, which means as long as I leave the Lafayette area by like 11-ish, I will roll into town about the perfect time for me to check in. That's almost most of my pre-prep. Like I said, this weekend sometime I'll go. Now it is the difference is that this weekend is also Father's Day, and I'm gonna get to spend it with my family. When you're watching, when this video comes out, it'll actually be tonight. I'm gonna go and go see The Flash with my son. Super excited about that. I am a massive DC fan. You guys already knew that. But the Flash has always held a particular place for me and my son, because when he was just sort of starting to understand TV that wasn't kids TV, like when he was getting to that like 4 or 5 years old, where not everything needed to be super repetitive, educational, like you could actually just watch something to enjoy it. And it didn't always have to be animated. We started watching The Flash on CW. So that's always been like a kind of our thing. Connor has a life-size, actually slightly larger than life-size, painted Flash on the wall of his bedroom. The Flash has always held a very particular place for us. So getting to go to see that on Father's Day weekend, just the two of us, is gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Apart from that, this weekend I was just gonna be a lot of hanging out, prep. Natalie says that she's got something queued up that we're gonna get to do together. I know I gotta drive my mother-in-law to the airport Saturday morning, but apart from that, I got really nothing else. Yeah, so that's the pre-prep. Actually, at the show, it's a lot of make sure you always have water nearby, even if you've got soda, which I'm going to take a sip of right now. Even if you've got soda, it's always nice to have a bottle of water or something nearby. I almost always bring one of my drink shakers, so drink shakers and then water supplements to have at the booth. It's I personally do not bring backpacks or anything like that, mostly because as a convention goer and a convention goer with a relatively large body, I hate backpacks and pull behinds and things like that in the dealer hall. I hate it. And I know what people are going to say is, that sometimes that's the only place that people can carry their stuff. And, what if they, that they only have access to that hotel room for a few hours at a time. I understand it, and call me fussy, call me hypocritical, but when I see someone with a giant backpack, especially if it's on them, and so they've turned their profile from this to this, I think less of you. I kid, kind of. No, it makes me crazy, especially because there's always so many people. There's always things at booths that don't need to get knocked over. You're turning an already awkward crush of bodies into a crush of bodies that now have like attached flippers to their backsides. They have dorsal fins now. And now I get it. When it comes to like strollers and things, and you've got your kids, that is a completely different animal. I will absolutely get out of the way of someone's stroller. I will, realize that that for some families this is their vacation. This is what they have to do. I 100% get behind that. And you've got to be able to take your kids around. If you want to, if you can bring your kids, or you have to bring your kids, you've got to be able to do so. So strollers and things, awesome. You bring a wagon to put your kid in, you know what you're doing. It's like now take that one step further, and you've got kids, but they're walking age, like they're able to walk and they have no problem. They don't necessarily need to be wheeled around. But yet you still bring your radio flyer wagon to carry all your swag and all that stuff. Now you're clogging up the old traffic there. And then there's also just common etiquette. Is if you bump into somebody, say I'm sorry, say excuse me, rather than trying to just push your way through a crowd. Ask for hey, excuse me, can I come through? We all are there for the various game related reasons, but it doesn't mean that your reasons are more important than others. It doesn't mean my reasons are more important than others. It doesn't mean that as a person we should forget our basic basic etiquette, basic rules of etiquette. Don't be a jerk. And I personally, if you're a cosplayer and your cosplay is big and honking or has a 8-foot sword or whatever, be mindful of what you're doing. Maybe if you're gonna be in the giant angel cosplay with the 5-foot long breaker sword, don't have that be your shopping day. Stick to the outer edges of the convention. Stay in the halls. Stay in the actual corridors where there's more room. just basically keep in mind of what you're doing, the real estate that you take up, and what you especially for some of these cosplays themselves. Some of this stuff is expensive. The last thing I want to do is have $800 wings get smashed because I've decided that I'm going to go shop the Fantasy Flight booth in my Sephiroth the Angel costume. So I guess the number one rule is just basically be mindful. Be mindful of your space. Be mindful of your body. Be mindful of your movements. And at the end of the day, just realize that everybody's trying to get somewhere, and leaving a few minutes early to deal with the fact that there might be extra crowds, there might be something cordoned off for a special event. You all just keep that in mind. Like, it's nobody wants to get hurt, nobody wants to see cool stuff broken, that kind of thing. And me personally, for Origins, especially this Origins, I'm going to be bringing a handy dandy notebook with me, and I will be bringing Sharpies for autograph signings. I know I hate saying that out loud. I sound so I don't like sounding, well, I'll be bringing my special Sharpies for autograph signing. But invariably at these shows, I do run into someone who has something that wants me to sign. And I have learned to make sure that I've got something on hand, because there is nothing more awkward than having a cool fan of an awesome reader or something come up to me and go, "Hey, will you sign my book?" And then I go, I don't have anything on me. And then I've got to either ask somebody or I tell them to come back and see me at the booth, or like it's just it is the opposite of what I want. So I will definitely be making sure that I bring some Sharpies with me, to sign stuff as needed. Yeah, so there's that. Painkillers. Now, I could make a joke here and be like, well, make sure you bring all your serious drugs, because you're at a show and that's what that's all about. I'm not going to make that joke. What I am going to say is I will absolutely be bringing a bottle full of Aleve. I will probably have some ibuprofen, some goodies powders. I'll have multiple types of pain meds, because especially as a bigger person who doesn't exercise as often as they should, at the end of the day, I can get pretty sore. Like my muscles can be yelling at me, especially with my sciatic acting up. You better believe I'm going to be preemptively taking anti-inflammatories, acetaminophen, the whole nine yards, just because I want to be able to be on my best, to give my best smile, and the last thing I want to do is someone to come up to demo the game and I go, my head hurts so bad, please just let's take it slow, let's take it easy, or nobody wants, if I have to sit down for a little while and take a rest, nobody wants me to go and they don't want to see that when they get up to the demo table and go, "Hey, can you show me this game?" Because immediately I'm starting things off on the bad foot, literally, of you're a nuisance, you made me get up out of my chair, like nobody wants that. So being on painkillers is always a good idea. Insert random PSA about the danger of opioids. But yeah, so that's I know that I kind of rambled on this, and this was more or less me just telling you I'm excited about Origins. I hope that you'll get a chance to come out if you can, and whether or not it's I'll you check out Evil Genius stuff, or if you come see me at Warzone. Either way, it's going to be a great show, and I can't wait to have some fun stories to tell you when I get back, because I will not have a video next week. My video, because I'll be at Origins, I'll actually be at the table next week, so I will be seeing you in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks you get the rundown. I'm going to go ahead and tell you all about how the show went, Any cool things that I saw, got, picked up, whatever. Basically, consider this part one of two, the Origins show. I don't know. Either way, you know how this goes. Also, next week will still be within the month of June, so you'll still be able to get into the comment raffle next week as well. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I gotta go. I've got stuff to do today. Got to get. I got work to do, and this weekend I got to get prepped. So, you know how this goes. Please, please, please be safe. Make sure you wear a mask in the places that ask you to. Get vaccinated, get boosted, wash your hands, and especially if you do go to the conventions, load up on some of those. I know that sometimes it's a placebo effect. That whole jumpstart the immune system, but there's nothing wrong with it. A little extra vitamin C won't hurt you. A lot could, but you know what I mean. But yeah, just try and be healthy, be ready. We can't enjoy these games if you get sick. Try and keep a smile when you meet people, and make every room a little happier than when you got there. That's my motto. You know that. But especially going into a game convention, for those of you that are going, I'll see you there. For those of you that aren't going, or those of you who are going that I won't see you, I know you'll be there and enjoying yourself. And those of you who aren't going, still go ahead and, in our honor perhaps, play some games. I will see you in 2 weeks.